Hello foodies, welcome back to our channel. This is the official launch of the 5 things series. I'm so happy about this, guys. I'm so excited. And if you don't already know, this is a series that will basically try to show you guys 5 different things that you can make using only one ingredient. Let's get into it. India ba?
Bean.
Oh, Nidengay. Dima oranges are weedy. Yeah, my oranges are weedy. To begin the Sobo Edition, we're keeping it nice and simple. So I went ahead and I prepared my Sobo the way that I enjoy having it best. And to beautify this legend, I decided to incorporate some fruit. So as you guys can see, I added some oranges on the edges of each glass, popped in some strawberries for good measure, and voila! We have a fancy, visually appealing Sobo, perfect for hosting. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Number 2 on our list is a fresh fruit salad. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what I put into my fruit salad because we all have different preferences when it comes to fruit, but I will say this, it's really important to pick a variety of different fruits so that you can have or enjoy different textures when you're eating your salad. Pick different vibrant colors so that it's visually appealing, and you'll have yourself a pretty looking salad, a pretty good tasting salad as well. And yes, definitely try the different textures, you guys. I think it really makes all the difference. So after I put my oranges in, I did decide to go with some strawberries just for that pop of color. Tied everything in together with my already concentrated Sobo, and look at this fruit salad, you guys. Honestly, I do recommend this salad. Because of all this heat that we're enduring this October, I had to make sure that number 3 on our list was some nice cold homemade fruit infused popsicles. Now this recipe is really easy, guys. As you can see, I've only used 2 types of fruit. We have some fresh kiwi and some fresh strawberries. My ice cream or ice lolly molders, I should say, are not too big in size, so that's why I kind of cut my fruit in really miniature sizes so that they could fit perfectly in the molders. So you also want to be mindful of this depending on what containers or molders you guys will be using. You can see mine are relatively average size, so that really determined the size of the fruit that I was going with. So carrying on, you want to pop your fruit in first. I was putting in some kiwi followed by some strawberries, and then put in some kiwi on top of the strawberries again before carrying on with the rest of the recipe. The next step is to add your ready concentrated Sobo. I was sure to fill it up as much as I could go because I wanted to get the most out of it. I popped on the lid covers and finished off with some ice lolly sticks. To make your creamsicles, start off with some plain unsweetened yogurt. Next, you can add some artificial sugar, some cream, and finally some vanilla essence for flavor. Mix everything together and set aside. In your container or your molder, begin by putting in your Sobo. Now I'm going to explain this part a little bit more. I wanted to pretty much allow everything to fuse in together well, which is why I started the Sobo. Don't be surprised that your yogurt will then sink straight to the bottom, because this is really what I wanted, that when you're tasting the creamsicle, you're tasting both flavors, the Sobo and the yogurt at the same time. But if you would rather kind of separate the 2 things together, you can start off with your yogurt and then you finish off with your Sobo. That will pretty much separate the 2 flavors, and you will still have a creamsicle at the end of the day. When all this is done, pop into your freezer and allow to cool off for about 5 hours. And before you know it, you have this beautiful, vibrant, summer-ready creamsicle, summer-ready popsicle, and there you go, you guys. Good Sunday, you guys. Believe it or not, it's been 2 weeks since the last clip that you guys saw. It's so silly, but this recipe video has been prolonged. It's been day after day of I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna finish, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna finish, but finally we are almost there. So on to recipe number 4. Recipe number 4 is one of my absolute favorites, homemade sorbet. Start off with some sugar in your pot. You want to add some water to this mixture and keep stirring everything nice and good until it starts to bubble up and cook. You want to really allow this sugar to completely dissolve before you switch off your gas and store it away somewhere nice and good. But for good measure, I went in with my Sobo, seeing as this is a Sobo Edition after all. Now I put everything in a nice container, one that can take heat, packed it away, and then I refrigerated. Next, add some frozen fruit into your blender. For this recipe, I added some frozen strawberries and frozen kiwi is what I meant to say. And you guys can see that now that our sugar has cooled off, it's become a very beautiful homemade syrup. Add this to the mixture. It's up to you how sweet you want the sorbet to be, but I did add a good amount, blended it nice and slowly to get my beautiful sorbet texture. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it wasn't as solid as I wanted it to be because the fruits hadn't really frozen well. So be sure to freeze your fruits long enough so that you have a nice solid sorbet. And finally, you guys can use your Sobo to make a beautiful homemade smoothie. This recipe is super easy. All you need is some fresh fruit in the blender, followed by some Sobo, as you guys can see I'm doing over here. Add in some yogurt. I did add some Sobo on top of all of this again. Blend everything together. And that's it. That's all you need. You have your smoothie. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our first episode of the 5 Things series. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have some Sobo in the house, now you know what to do with it. Bye, you guys.